Hi there, it's Jennifer, and this is my third to the last video in my series on long distance walking. I started this series, I think maybe last February, when it was right after I had signed up for my full marathon that I'm going to be walking soon. And I have been doing different things about walking in general and long distance walking. So if you're just tuning into this and you haven't seen the other videos, I will link them all in the space below so you can check those out. Some of the videos, most of the videos in this series are just for people who want to start walking or walk more. And then as I've been getting closer and closer to this race I have, at 26.2 miles, I've been getting into stuff that's really specifically more toward races and really long distances. So as I said, I have a race coming up. It's actually a week from today. A week from the day I'm filming this. And I'm nervous. Just saying that makes me nervous just to think about it. 2 weeks ago, my walking buddy and I did 20 miles. That was our longest training walk. We drove down to Phoenix because Flagstaff has 3 feet of snow on the ground right now. And yeah, so we figured it would be better to go to the place where the race will happen and then get acclimated to the climate and the lower elevation, which is really going to help us, and do our 20-miler down there. Now, if you've been watching this series, you may think, wait, I thought there were two of you who were doing, or two other people doing this race with you. I did start out doing this with two other people. In the half marathon that we did in August, they were both with me. It was my friend Susan and her stepdaughter Jenna, who is 23. And then Susan in the training blew out her knees, unfortunately. And so she's just taking time to heal up, and then we're hoping to do another one next year so she can, because that's kind of on her bucket list and she really wants to do that. The great thing about training with Jenna is that because she's 23 and I'm 52, she really pushes me to go fast. So what I offer her is don't go too fast too soon. And also the thing about having supplements, because she has, at the beginning when I would say, well, you know, you better eat some sport beans right now, you need electrolyte replacement, or you really, in 2 more miles, you're gonna be feeling really tired, so we need to eat a packet of goo, which is energy replacement. It gives you energy. So I'll say we gotta have it now because once we get to this mile, we're gonna be feeling tired. And at first she was kind of thinking, isn't that overkill? Do I really have to do this? But she's gotten so good at this, and she's really bought into the whole idea of using electrolyte replacement and different kinds of things, salt magnesium replacement, to help you feel better while you're going. And so that's kind of what I am offering to the team, and she just has a naturally really fast walking pace, and I think I might actually get a PR, which is a personal record. I kind of thought I would never be able to go any faster than I did on one of my races, which was 6 hours and 24 minutes. My other ones have been about 6 hours and 30 minutes, 6 hours and 33 minutes, you know, around there. This one will be my 5th. So ever since I finished my second race, my second full marathon, which was my fastest, I've kind of thought, I don't think I'll ever be able to go any faster than that, but I think we might. So, that makes me really excited. So, okay, so the reason I'm doing this video is I want to talk about things to do the night before the race and the day of the race. Next week, there will be a video that will be a vlog of the race weekend. And so I'll take you through going to the expo that is the day before, let you see what I'm having for carb loading the night before, and I'll take you to the race and different points on the course. I'll talk to you a little bit, and then so hopefully you'll like seeing that. And the one more video that will come after that is what to do after the race. Directly after the race and in the weeks beyond, or the week beyond, weeks beyond, whatever. So because there are things to think about, because you can hurt yourself even afterwards if you're not careful. So anyway, this video is about what to do the night before and the day of. In the week before, or in the couple weeks before, ideally you want to make sure that you're hydrating. So I am making sure that I am getting 8 8-ounce glasses of water in every single day, And you know, from now until the race, I'm gonna be doing that because I want my tissues to be as fully hydrated as possible. You don't wanna just slam a bunch of water the day before because it won't all absorb into your tissues. Most of it you'll end up peeing out. So you wanna make sure that you're getting to a place where your pee, when you look at it in the toilet, is a light yellow. If it's dark yellow, you're not drinking enough water. If it's absolutely totally clear, you're probably drinking too much because you don't want to flush out all of the electrolytes from your body. And so you need to have a little bit of that. So if it's a light yellow color, you're doing just fine. So I'm doing that. In fact, I have been hydrating for the last week really, really well. And so then next weekend, Jenna and I will go down to Phoenix and get checked into our hotel. And then that night, there are some things we're gonna do. So first of all, we're going to rest as much as we can. We'll go to the expo. Then we're gonna, you know, kind of get settled in at our hotel and we'll go out to dinner. We'll go someplace where we can get a carby meal. Doesn't mean eat like a pig. It just means that you wanna have carbs without a lot of fat and grease, and not a lot of heavy meat. So what the idea of carb loading is to get as much glycogen as possible tucked into the crannies of your muscles. It's like the very last thing you can do to get as much energy for yourself as possible. And if you eat something that's a whole grain, it's not gonna have enough time to break down to help you the next day. That's why people do this carb load thing with simple carbs, like they eat pastas and things. I typically try to get something that's just a pasta with a marinara. Maybe it has a sprinkle of cheese on top, but not a ton. I don't want a ton of baked cheese all over the top. If I can get something that's just a pasta with kind of an olive oil and some fresh vegetables on it or something, that is something that I like to have. So I don't want something that's gonna really weigh me down and make me just feel like, I ate too much. So I want to have something that's kind of fresh, but definitely I'm having pasta and bread too, if they have it, and salad. So we a lot of times go to Olive Garden because it's real easy to get what you want there. That will be what we'll do. And then after we go to Olive Garden, we will go back to the hotel and just get ready to go to sleep early, actually. But when I go to the hotel, what I always do is I take the stuff that I got from the expo. There will be information from the race people telling information, stuff like that. And so I'll be getting that stuff out and reading it. Gosh, just thinking about this is making my heart start to beat faster. So I'm nervous and excited about it. But then I take my bib. So they give you a bib number and some clothespins, some safety pins, and to pin onto your shirt. So I go ahead and put my shirt on and I pin the bib on there. And then, so it's ready to go. Then, then I take the shirt off and, put on my pajamas. Now my bib on my shirt is already ready to go. And I set that out. The other thing is that some of the timing chips, some will be right on the back of your bib and you leave it there. And some of them, it's a thing that you peel off and you put it on your shoe. You kind of make this little loop on your shoe and then it has an adhesive that sticks there. I believe that's the kind we'll have for this race. So then I will put on my shoe and put it in there and make sure that it's positioned in the right place and everything. And then, take my shoe off. So in the morning, because I don't want to get up too terribly early, I want to sleep a little bit. It's going to be the crack of dawn anyway when we have to get up. So all I want to do when I get up in the morning is just I'm going to have to put on my, well, we'll get to that with day of stuff. I don't want to have to mess with a bunch of stuff in the morning is what I'm trying to say. So I get all of that stuff ready. I also get my hydration belt that has a couple of pockets in it. And I put everything that I want to bring with me on the race into those pockets. So anything like Band-Aids, or I bring an extra thing of this chamois butter stuff that if I start to get a chafed spot, which I sometimes do, then I have that to put on there during the race. I'll put my sport beans and my packages of goo that I'm bringing along with me, and anything that I need with me will go in those pockets, and I get those set to go. I also take my bottles that are gonna go in the hydration belt, and I fill 2 of them with water, and the other 2 I fill with Gatorade, and I have those ready to go. So all of that stuff is completely ready to go, and then I just lay in bed and watch TV or watch movies until we get tired, and hopefully, we can fall asleep. Sometimes it's really hard because you're so excited and anxious. Oh, and I also set an alarm. I set the alarm on my phone. Jenna will set the alarm on her phone because I, am afraid that one of the alarms isn't going to go off. And so we have that all set. So then the next thing is what we're talking about in the morning. So I usually get up about 45 minutes before we have to leave. That's usually about what I need before we have to leave. So in the morning, when we get up, or when, I'm going to talk about what I will be doing. When I get up, before I get dressed, I'm going to take my Body Glide, and that's the stuff that looks like a deodorant, and it helps you to keep from chafing. And so I'll take my Body Glide and I put it all around the edges of my sports bra, underneath, everywhere. I also have Chub right here under my arms that rubs up here on this arm. And so I put Body Glide here, and a lot of it. I use it generously. Then if I have to put some, I'm not going to put it on my feet. I've actually been getting some little blisters on long distances with these new shoes I have. So I put moleskin, which is kind of like an adhesive felt, and I put it over the spots where I've been getting blisters, and that really has been helping me to solve that problem. So I'm not going to put Body Glide on, or else the moleskin wouldn't stay on my feet. If you don't have problems with blisters, but you just kind of want to make your feet a little bit more comfortable, you can just take Body Glide and kind of rub it all around on your toes. I also bought a brand new pair of socks. Well, I used them for our 20-miler, but that was a tip I got from a friend of mine who does triathlons. And she gets a new pair of socks before races because then they're nice and cushy, and she hasn't rubbed an area thin during her training. And so I'll have those to put on. So I use the Body Glide first. Then I will put sunscreen on everywhere. You want to make sure you put it on your ears, the back of your neck, your chest, all over, because we're going to be out there for at least, well, probably around 6.5 hours, hopefully less, but we'll be out there for a good deal of the day, and we want to make sure we don't end up sunburned. So we'll do that. I usually put on, just because I'm vain, I put on a little bit of makeup. I usually put on, it's a moisturizer BB cream. It has an SPF for my face, and so it's tinted. So it's just a light covering. And I usually just put on a little bit of mascara. And the only reason I do that, because you end up sweating it all off during the race, but the only reason I do that is we usually take some pictures at the beginning. And so at least at the beginning of the race, I can look decent in a picture. So then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna put on my shoes. I'm gonna, put my hair up, put a hairband in. If I'm gonna do that, make sure I have my sunglasses. I take everything and keep it all together from the night before, so I have everything with me. It's gonna be dark when we leave the hotel, and so, it can be easy to forget something like sunglasses. So I get all that stuff completely ready. I take my hydration belt, which I don't put on because I'm gonna have to sit in the car, and grab that. Also put on my my GPS watch, and that's something I didn't mention for the night before. I make sure it's charged. I usually charge it before I leave my house in Flagstaff, and then that way I don't have to charge it. But if for some reason I forget, I have my charger for that and get it charged up. But I put on my GPS watch, and then we're ready to head out the door. Now, we are doing this thing called a VIP warm zone kind of a thing, and we're driving to the start of the race, parking our car, and then going into this heated tent, and they'll have breakfast items for us there. So we don't have to worry about eating breakfast, and then we stay in that area until right before the race. At the end of the race, the people shuttle us back to our car. But If you're not doing something like that, you need to make sure that you have some kind of breakfast with you. I usually go the day before and pick some things up. You want to have something that's not terribly heavy and not protein laden. You don't want to have a breakfast burrito with eggs in it and stuff. I would just say a bagel, a half a bagel or a full bagel, and a banana would be plenty. And you're good to go with that. So you need to make sure you bring that. We won't have to worry about that morning because it will be there. So anyway, yeah, that is kind of what the plan is for that day. And then the race happens. So I keep thinking about it and it just makes my heart beat faster. I'm really excited about it. I'm nervous because I know that it's painful. The 20 miles we did a couple weeks ago was hurting me right at the top of my thighs, right under my butt, right here. The muscles were really hurting it for about 5 miles and it didn't go away. So I've been doing a lot of stretches, seeing if I can kind of stretch out the muscles. And I think I'm going to bring along some Tylenol on the race. You're not supposed to take NSAIDs, so no Aleve, no ibuprofen of any kind, because those are supposed to be really taxing on the kidneys. And when you're doing a race like this, your kidneys are working so hard to process what you're drinking. And so, but Tylenol they say is okay. So I think I might bring some. So if that area starts to feel like it's hurting, then I have some kind of a pain reliever to take during the race, because I can't imagine doing the last 5 miles of that 20 with that kind of pain. I was able to keep going, but it really was not comfortable. And in the race, we'd have 6 more miles to go. And I don't know that I could go 11 miles with that pain that I had. So I'm getting a little nervous about that, but the training lets you know what you need to do to prepare. So I'm doing those things now, hoping that we'll have a different result next week when the race happens. But this is so much fun, because when you get to this point, you realize that the race is not what it's about. It's really the journey that you've been through. What's that quote? It's not the destination, it's the journey. And that is so true with something like this, because the hard work comes in all those months where you've been disciplined to get out the door and do your short walks and do your long walks and all of that, and changing the schedule of your life so that you can, did I just spit? Changing the schedule of your life so that you can do this thing. And it's just really exciting. So I view the race itself as a celebration of all the hard work. So anyway, I'm going to be done talking right now. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you've been out there walking, rain or shine, snow or no. But come back next week, because I will upload my vlog from the race, and you'll get to see the whole thing not the whole thing, but you'll get to see snippets of my race weekend, and hopefully I'll be able to walk afterwards. But I will also then have one more video that talks about what to do afterwards. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks so much for coming along with me on this journey, and we'll see you again on Busy Being Jen. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.